My name is Donna Haig Friedman. I direct the Center for Social Policy in the McCormack Graduate School at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. Our center's mission is to generate solutions for poverty, that is, economic hardship and social exclusion, affecting the lowest income people here in the state and in other parts of the world. We have a very close partnership as a center with the public policy doctoral program here on our campus, and this partnership is one that's mutually beneficial. Doctoral students like Jen Cohen, whom you're going to hear from shortly, have an opportunity to engage in hands-on learning through engaging with our research teams in applied research, evaluation research, that enables them to actually develop and hone their skills in research in ways that amplify or enhance what they're learning in their coursework. Likewise, for students who are in the program, the doctoral program, the experiences enable the students to get a head start and a good foundation for their dissertations. Our center work, research work, is very much enhanced by the learnings that the students are getting in their coursework. It is a mutually beneficial partnership, as you will see when you listen to what Jen Cohen expresses to you about this experience that she's had with us.
So I'm Jennifer Cohen, and I came to the program at a mid-level career stage in life. I am 43. I have a master's in social work. I've been working at community-based nonprofits for over 20 years. I didn't think I was ever going to go back and do a PhD. It's not something I felt like I needed in my toolbox. So the way I actually heard about UMass Boston and the doctoral program here was through working with Donna Haig Friedman and the Center for Social Policy on a research project they were working on in Haifa, Israel. The project was funded through Donna's Fulbright research, and it was looking at how community-based nonprofits in Haifa were gearing up for welfare reform, which was largely mirroring and paralleling some of the welfare reform changes that had happened in this country over the last decade or so. That's how I heard of the center's work, was really through Donna, and I was fortunate enough to work with her and learn with her about how nonprofits should be at the public policy table. So having worked in nonprofits for over 20 years, I knew that instinctually, but it's not something I necessarily would have articulated that way. And through the work of the center and seeing how that work and the experience of the center was being applied in a totally different setting in Haifa, Israel, but seeing how many of the learnings were so relevant really changed me and sort of opened me up to the understanding that what I know matters, and that these kinds of voices and these kinds of activists and these kinds of people and organizations need to be at the table. So I think that's what the Haifa project, which through my internship I continued working on. So we took a lot of the data. We have 1,000 pages of documentation of learning seminars between nonprofit leaders in Haifa and nonprofit leaders in Boston over the last 5 years now. And we, through my internship, I had the opportunity to go deeper into that documentation, understand what some of the themes were, and actually my thesis, my own dissertation research, will be based on some of the learnings that came out of that research. So what brought me to UMass Boston was the hope of finding a program where I could really integrate between going deeper on theoretical learnings and ideas, but also the opportunity to work with serious practitioners and apply the ideas that we're talking about in classes. That's something I've had the opportunity to do through the public policy PhD program, and simultaneously working at the Center for Social Policy. At the center, I had the opportunity to work with people who are both practitioners and thinkers, and who regularly go back and forth, which is something that I try and do. And I feel like here at UMass Boston, I've had the chance to practice that with people who are serious, committed to the people who are most affected by policies, and also serious about ideas and coming up with new policies and practices. My dissertation topic is the role of nonprofits, especially community-based nonprofits, in affecting public policy and affecting social change. So I'm using 2 case studies in Boston and 2 case studies in Haifa, Israel. So there's an international element, which is something that I also really benefited from my cohort here and the other students and also the other professors who bring to conversations about policy in this country knowledge and experience from other places in the world and back and forth. So there's plenty of people who come from other places, learn from the best practices but also mistakes in this country, and then take them back home. In my assistantship at the Center for Social Policy, I had several opportunities and various and diverse opportunities to work with different kinds of people, whether it was practitioners or academics or people living the experience themselves. I had the opportunity to meet with people from lots of different countries around the world and different communities here in Boston and across Massachusetts. In particular, I think the opportunities that were most powerful that I'll carry with me are those where I really learned about how the policies we're learning about in the classroom are affecting actual people and actual communities on the ground. And then going out into those communities, hearing people's experiences, bringing them back into staff meetings and sharing with people what I learned out in the field, and hearing from other staff members and other people doing their assistantships and students at the center who really recognized how important that local knowledge was. That is one of the most important things that I had the opportunity to experience over the last 3 years. So from my perspective, UMass Boston is the only place I ever seriously considered doing a PhD, because it seems to me that for people at my level of career, the only reason to do this is when you have the opportunity to really practice. And so the hands-on opportunities to apply ideas and theories in everyday practice and really in the field with constituents who are the ones you most care about and the ones that brought you here, that's exactly what brought me to UMass Boston. And I think that if someone's looking for a program where they're not just sitting in a classroom, but they're also going out into the field, they're also consulting regularly with practitioners and academics and constituents. At the Center for Social Policy, I came in regular contact also with people who are really living the experience that I was learning about. And for someone who wants that kind of experience, UMass Boston is the only program I know about that really does that.